I want to say shalom, shalom, shalom. And give all power and glory to the Most High Yahweh, Bashem, Mashem, Wam, like Shai, and coming through another Friday Night Fire through the Spirit. And it's Brother Sirach,
Brother Gat.
right? And we come back to you, through the Spirit of the Most High Yahweh, Bashem, Mashem, Wam, like Shai. You want to say, shalom, Shabbat shalom to the people that's observing the Shabbat at this on the Saturday, Friday sundown to Saturday sundown through the Spirit. So and then you can see the title that we're gonna go into, and we're going to Galatians chapter 3:28, right? We're gonna break it down through the Spirit, to see exactly what it's going into, because there's a lot of mishaps with the scriptures, a lot of fumbling and misreading and putting their own interpretations on the scriptures, right? So, through the power of the Spirit, we're gonna break down this precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little, so we get the understanding, and so it could be no confusion based on what Galatians chapter 3:28 is referring to. All right, Con, you got to open the precept, King.
Con.
Let's bring it out, King.
Okay, you got it, King.
So like, Con. I'm gonna go to 2 Peter chapter 2 and verse 19. It reads, "We have also a more sure word of prophecy, whereunto ye do well take ye take heed, as unto a light that shineth in the dark place, unto the day and dawn, and the day star arise in your hearts. Knowing this first, that no prophecy of the scriptures of any private interpretation." So, when we break down the scriptures, we know for sure where we got the right knowledge to the Spirit. Because why? We gonna go based off precept upon precept, right? And then where it says, knowing this first, that no prophecy of the scriptures is of any private interpretation. So we're not gonna go and say I feel, and I may feel this, I may feel that. We're not gonna speak with feelings. We're gonna go with what the precepts say, and that's it. But Kyle, you got it, King.
Con. I'm gonna get the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 14 verse 20, and it reads, "Brethren, be not children in understanding, howbeit in malice be ye children, but in understanding be men." So when we understand the scriptures and we read the scriptures, we want to be understanding in men, right? We don't want to be, you don't want to be children in this thing. We know people come in this truth every day. You got to start off with the milk and work yourself up. But at the end of the day, you want to be being understanding, and understanding you want to be men. You don't want to be children. You want to know what's going on, right? So like, let me get another precept. This is the book of Second Ezra chapter 8 and verse 4, and it reads, "So answered I and said, swallow then down, O my soul, understanding, and devour wisdom." So when you eat this roll, you want to devour it. You don't want to you don't want to choke. You don't want to throw up. You don't want to nothing like that. You want to devour it. You want to ask the Most High that he may give you this understanding, because what we're about to go into is a stumbling block for a lot of people, especially if
Yeah, saying trying to take away the word. Con, you,
like it. Can you hear me?
look here.
Like it. So like I was saying, especially if you grew up in like it. Did I cut out?
Con, you did cut out, King. Yeah,
Like
staying, man.
I was saying, yeah, con. Especially if you grew up in Christianity, or you was in the Catholic Church, whatever the case may be. This is a lot of stumbling blocks for a lot of people. Even when people understand a part of the truth and they come in this thing, they still have a stumbling block with that. You have Israelites and fringes that they let certain people come to their Passovers. They because they believe that what the scripture is saying is what they is pretty much they still have that Christian mind, the Christianity mindset, and the Catholicism mindset, and they haven't fully came into this thing, But brothers got it.
Yeah, kind. That's correct to the spirit. So we ultimately we gotta let me get this precept real quick. Right. Hey, like the brother go into, that's because ultimately this is what we gotta do. This is First Corinthians chapter 15 and verse 31. It says, I protest by your rejoicing which I have in the Mashiach Yahushai, our Lord, I die daily. Hey, you gotta die, we gotta kill off the old man each and every day. You shouldn't come in this truth and still be on the same level. We gotta eventually always get better in this thing. It could be little by little, and little by little you become a new creature in this thing, right? So without further ado, and let me get this other precept right quick.
God.
Right, let me get this right. Because ultimately, this is why you don't have the understanding, classic precept, right? This is Psalms 111, verse 10. It says, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. A good understanding have all they that do his commandments. His praises endure it forever. So you gotta do the works, meaning you gotta keep the commandments so you can have the understanding of what these certain um precepts is going into, right? Like we're gonna go into today, in Galatians chapter 3, verse 28. So for order to understand what's going on, you have to understand, you have to first kill off the old man, like the brother was saying, not bring in that same Christian mindset and die daily and start keeping the commandments. Right? Okay. Hey Shalom, you want to you got a preset?
Khan,
Open.
shalom, Akim.
Hold on, King.
No, go ahead, King. You got it.
All right, kind. And so without further ado, let's get to it, right?
God.
Get to it. Hey, let's not waste no time through the spirit, right?
You want me to read, King?
Kyle, you can if you want to, King. I'm gonna just read.
You want me to start at the point?
You can start. Start at. You can start at 22. Start at 22.
Okay, Con. This is the book of Galatians, chapter 3, and verse 22. But the scripture had concluded all under sin, that the promise by faith of Yahushua HaMashiach might be given to them that believe.
Mm-hmm.
But before faith came, we were kept under the law,
Right.
shut up unto the faith which should afterwards be revealed. Wherefore the law was our schoolmaster.
It was what?
Wherefore the law was our schoolmaster.
So, the law is literally talking. The law was our schoolmaster, right? Who was given the law? We all know who was given the law. The Israelites. The Israelites was given the law to show us what to do, right? Let me get this precept real quick, right? All right, let me get this precept. Let me get the Psalms. All right. 119, so lucky. Psalms 119 and verse 105. It reads, thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. So literally, the law is a lamp to my feet and the light to my path. It shows me how to maneuver in this thing. It shows me how to conduct ourselves, right? That's what the word is. The word is for. It wasn't just the Most High decided to give us the word. No, the Most High gave us the word to show us how to maneuver in this world, how I should treat my brother, how I should treat my sister, how I should treat my wife, right? So everything, it plays a part through the spirit, right? So that's what the schoolmaster is. It says, wherefore the law was our schoolmaster. It shows us how to do things, right? It governed us, right? You got a precept on that, Akim?
Yeah, Khan.
I
I got this. Khan. I got this precept in the book of Sirach chapter 1 and verse I'm gonna start at verse number uh come on, I'm gonna just get to the point. I'm gonna go to verse number 9. It says, He created her and saw her and numbered her and poured her out upon all his works. So that's that wisdom that he's talking about, the law, which is the wisdom. It says that, hey, the Lord created wisdom. Obviously, when you go into Sirach chapter 24, Sirach, wisdom only dwells. Wisdom had her part in every nation, but the Most High made her tabernacle rest in Jacob. Which is that law, like the brother's going into.
Right, con. Let me get this. Let me get this other precept of the spirit, right? Is this Sirach chapter 19, verse 19? It says, "The knowledge of the commandments of the Lord is the doctrine of life, and they that do things that please Him shall receive the fruit of the tree of immortality. The fear of the Lord is all wisdom, and in all wisdom is the performance of the law and the knowledge of His omnipotency." Right? It says, "If a servant say to his master, I will not do as it pleaseth thee, though afterward he doeth it, he anger him that nourished him." Right? So, if you have this knowledge and understanding, you have the things to perform the law, which is everything that performs of the wisdom. It shows you how to perform like it was going to. It's a schoolmaster, right? It teaches you how to maneuver in the world, right? So, you got anything else on that, King?
Nah, I can't. We can move on.
Con. Let me get back to it. This is Galatians 3. So I can end up right back in.
Can you want me to read it?
Con, so like I'm bring Gab back in real quick. So like
Oh, come.
Con, brothers.
Con, we can hear you, King.
Con. Brothers want me to start at 24?
Con, you had a precept on it?
La.
All right, Con. Yeah, we could keep going with the spirit.
Con.
You
want me to read?
Con, you got it, King.
Con. This is book of Galatians chapter 3 and verse 24. Wherefore the law was our schoolmaster to bring us unto a Hamashiach, that we might be justified by faith.
All
right. But after that, faith is come. We are no longer under a schoolmaster.
Right. So that's not saying you're not under the law no more. It's just saying that since the Mashiach came into play, now we have faith and works through the Spirit, right? Because you gotta have both. You show my faith by your works, right? You show your faith by the works that I do through the Spirit. But Con, you keep going, King.
Con. For verse 26, for ye are all the children of God by faith in Hamashiach Yahushai. For as many of you as have been baptized into a Hamashiach have put on a Hamashiach.
Right. 28. So like it. 26 says, "For ye are all the children of God." So who are the children of God? Man? When you go to the precepts, let's bring that out real quick. Who are the children of God? All right. Let me get Romans chapter 9 real quick. Right. This is Romans chapter 9 in verse 7. It says, "Neither because they are all the seed of Abraham are they all children, but in Isaac shall thy seed be called." So just because you come from Abraham, that don't make you a child of God, right? You have to go through the singing line of what? Isaac, Abraham, Isaac, and who else? Jacob, right? Now let's keep going on. Verse 8, it says, "That is, they which are the children of the flesh, these are not the children of Yahweh," right? So the children of the flesh, the other nations, they are not the children of God, but the children of the promise are counted for the seed, right? "For this is the word of promise, at this time will I come, and Sarah shall have a son. And not only this, but when Rebekah also hath conceived by one, even by our father Isaac." So literally, it literally gives you the lineage of who are the child of God and who is not the child of God. right? So we can't run to any precepts to say, hey, we are the children of God. Where does that say that in the precepts? Right? And then again, you can't have your own interpretation of the scriptures. And like we always say, man, it's only one truth, man. It's not 1,000 truths in this thing. It's only one truth. So who is the children of God, which are the Israelites? Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the spirit. I got a precept on that. And
Con,
can't bring it out, King.
con. Yeah. So like the brother brought out, that's a beautiful and perfect scripture to bring out. Whenever we're dealing with this kind of situation, if somebody was to say, oh, at Galatians 3:28, or obviously going into that matter, like but I know we haven't got to that 28 yet. But obviously you have to trace it back to the lineage and what obviously what we're dealing with. But you know what? Before I bring that scripture out, King, we can finish off the chapter. That way, it coincides with the precept I want to bring out.
All right, Con. You got something on that? You got something on that, Gap?
Lie.
All right, Con. Let's keep going there. Con.
Con. I'm gonna read verse 27 again. Right, Galatians 3 and verse 27. For as many of you as have been baptized into Hamashiach have put on Hamashiach. There is neither Jew nor Greek. There is neither bond nor free. There is neither male nor female. For ye are all one in Hamashiach Yahushua.
So, hey, that's the precept right there that we get into. Hey, it says, there is neither Jew nor Greek. There is neither bond nor free. There is neither male nor female, for ye are all one in Mashiach Yahushua. So right there and there, that means everybody can get into the kingdom of heaven, right? Right? That precept, solidify everybody in the whole wide world could get the kingdom of heaven.
Lie.
What sayest thou, man? What hey, it says Jew nor Greek, man. So, we like to say, what happened to the Moabites, the Ammonites, all these other different nations that's according to the Bible that it has. Hey, where are they at? Where do they fit in this thing? But kind of y'all brothers got precept, bring it up.
It kind of like like the brother was saying, you can't just read there's neither Jew nor Greek, and then say that's everybody. Like the brother was saying, where's other nations, right? You can't say, just two groups of people, and then say, and then say that's the whole world, But let me get this precept real quick, because when you're going into this, we're gonna bring it out, is really talking about the Israelites, right? Just like if somebody was to say there's no difference between a Jew and African American, right? Right? They're the same. They're the same thing, right? Because at this time in the book of Galatians, there are people there are Israelite men calling themselves Greeks because they were living like the Greeks, right? But let me put this precept out real quick. This book of 1 Corinthians chapter 12 and verse 2, and it reads, "Ye know that ye were Gentiles, carried away unto these dumb idols, even as you were led." Because Israelites can be Gentiles when they're living like Gentiles, right? They're still Israelites, but they're Israelites Gentiles, right? They'll call them what, Hellenized Gentiles, if I'm not mistaken, right? Right, brothers got it.
Yeah, no, that's facts. Like the brothers going into it. It was a time period, when it was when they were calling themselves that. And can you read verse 29 on that? Galatians 3:29. Because what people do is they come up and Galatians 3:28, and then close the Bible and that's it. Hey, finish that verse, man. That's what we got to tell them. Like, all right, well, hey, let's keep reading. Let's keep reading. Let's see what happens, right?
This book Galatians chapter 3 and verse 29. And if you be a Hamashiach, I'm gonna read it like it is. And if you be Christ, then ye are Abraham's seed, and heirs according to the promise.
So he's saying, so if we're Christ, okay, we're Christ. So then we are Abraham's, right? And then like Sirach brought up in Romans 9, what was that, 9:6 or 9:7?
9-7 on down.
Uh, yeah, yeah. And then it says, so not because are you at the seed of Abraham are you our children, but in Isaac shall thy seed be called, right? So now we will have to go. Okay, let's go back to the history, and I want to get this in the book of Genesis, chapter 16, when it's Abraham and it's Sarah, right? But in this context, I guess her name is Sarai, right? So obviously, I'm not gonna sit here and read the whole chapter, but um, Sarah, she was barren, right? So she had to give him Hagar, right, which was the Egyptian maid, and then he had a son, which his name was Ishmael, right? And that's I want to get that in Genesis chapter 16 and verse number 15, right? It says you know what? Yeah, let me get to the point. It says verse 15. It says, and Hagar bare Abraham a son, and Abraham called his son's name, which Hagar bare Ishmael, right? So that was his firstborn, was Ishmael. Right now, we know later in the chapter in chapter 7, we know that now as Abraham is getting older, he has Isaac, right? But let's figure out what this covenant that the Most High made was, right? And you can read about that in the book of Genesis, chapter 17, and verse. You want to read it, Brother Gad, in verse 19? We're gonna read from Genesis 17 and 19 through 22.
God, you said Genesis 17:19.
Con.
God's book of Genesis, chapter 17, verse 19. And God said, Sarah, thy wife, shall bear thee a son indeed, and thou shalt call his name Isaac. And I will establish my covenant with him for an everlasting covenant, and with his seed after him.
Right. So after they had Isaac, the Lord literally told Abraham that he was going to establish a covenant with him, with Isaac, right? Read.
Right? Verse 20. And as for Ishmael, I have
And
heard
as
thee.
for who?
And as for Ishmael, I have heard
So
thee.
now he kind of saying now, okay, I'm gonna establish my covenant with Isaac. And as for Ishmael, meaning like, okay, I'm not gonna establish my covenant with him, but according to Ishmael, right? Read.
All right. And as for Ishmael, I have heard thee. Behold, I have blessed him, and I will make him fruitful, and will multiply him exceedingly. 12 princes shall he beget, and I will make him a great nation.
Right.
But
And this
my
is this, this is the point right here, verse 21.
right,
So
but
like,
my
good.
but my covenant will I establish with Isaac, which Sarah shall bear unto thee at which Sarah shall bear unto thee at this set time in the next year. And he
Right.
left off talking with him, and God went up from Abraham.
So he literally had to repeat himself in verse 19 and verse 21 that his covenant was going to be established with Isaac and not with Ishmael, right? And then obviously we go, through the history and through the facts, and it leads up to, like the brother's going into, that it was only the Israelites that the Most High is calling Jew or Greek, because when that in that time period, they were living like Hellenistic Jews, right? But kind of brothers got it though.
Another thing is that brothers have to look at, you always too, sometimes, most of the time, you have to go to see who was this written to, because this wasn't written to nobody but the Israelites, right? Let me get this precept. Let me get Galatians chapter 1 and verse 1. It reads, Paul, an apostle, not of man, neither by man, but by Yahushua HaMashiach and God the Father, who raised him from the dead. Right? Verse 2. And all the brethren which are with me unto the churches of Galatia. Right? Who are the brethren? Right? Those are the Israelites. Right? Because Paul was an Israelite. Paul was an Israelite. He said this is to the brethren. Right? He said Paul said this is to the brethren, all the brethren that are with me unto the church of Galatia. Right? So brothers got it.
Yeah, God. Hey, brothers brought out mighty points to the spirit. Hey, brothers brought out a 1 Corinthians 12:1.
Con.
God, brothers brought that out.
Con, I brought up verse 2. You can start. You want to bring it out? Start at verse 1.
Nah, I'm just making sure brothers brought that out to the spirit.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna go to right. I'm gonna go to Jeremiah, right, chapter 7 and verse 8:15, because we gonna show that Israelites could be called a heathen too through the spirit, right? Right. I'm gonna go to Jeremiah chapter 7 and verse 15, because people gotta understand, once a Israelite get cast off through the spirit, you're no longer the Most High, right? This is Jeremiah chapter 7 and verse 15. It reads, I will cast you out of my sight, and as I have cast out your brethren, even the whole seed of Ephraim. So the Most High literally cast out Ephraim, but he was talking to Judah, say, I'm gonna cast you out too. Once you get cast out, exiled, you no longer a part of the Most High folk. The Most High, he'll forget about you. Even in the time of let me get this right, in Leviticus, right, 23. If you miss a feast day, the Most High say, what the hell with you through the spirit, right? Let me get this real quick. What is it? Leviticus 23. Let me get where he said, Salakia. Children. Salakia, let me get it real quick. Let's see. Right. This is Leviticus 23 and 29. It says, this is the atonement, right? It says, for whatsoever soul it be that shall not be afflicted in that same day, he shall be cut off from among his people. The Most High will cut you off if you're not doing this at the Lord. You could be Israelite. You could be you could be Israelite, plain, right? The Most High will cut you off. It says, and whatsoever soul it be that doeth any work in the same day, the same soul will I destroy among his people. So if you do any type of work, even on this is a day of atonement, if you do any type of work or not keep it, and you'll be destroyed or cut off. Right? So the Most High always had that thing through all the precepts, right? Because even then, when you go into what we call the law or the Torah, it has two different strangers, right? And when you go into what we deem as the so-called New Testament, it has two different, I should say, Gentiles, right? So you got to know when it's going into a Gentile estate, as in an Israelite, or a Gentile, actual Gentile, right? Because when even when you go into the Bible dictionary, the Compact Dictionary, it says sometimes a Israelite. Not all the time it could be Israelite, but sometimes it could be referring to an Israelite through the Spirit, right? Right. Let me get some more precepts though. Let me get because I know the brothers was going into some mighty things, right? Let me get 2 Maccabees chapter 6 and verse 4, right? Because the brothers was going into the Hellenistic period, right? And you can read about that Hellenistic period in the times of the Maccabees, right? So in the time of Maccabees, we wasn't able to keep our customs. Hey, they was literally persecuting us just for keeping our customs. When you go back and read Second Maccabees and First Maccabees, right? But it's the point. It's the Second Maccabees chapter 6 and verse 4. It says, "For the temple was filled with riot and reveling by the Gentiles, who dallied with harlots and had to do with women within the circuit of the holy places. And besides that, brought in things that were not lawful." Right? So they defiling our temple, right? They bringing in things that wasn't lawful for us to bring in. Verse 5, "The altar also was filled with profane things, which the law forbidded. Neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days or ancient feasts." And so we wasn't able to keep our Sabbath days nor our ancient feasts. The Pentecost, or the feast of the blowing of the trumpets, the Passover, right? And you name it. And it's at the Sabbath day, right? It says, or ancient feasts, or to profess himself at all to be a Jew. So he's saying, hey, it was illegal for us to even profess ourselves to be a Jew, right? So in that time, like the brothers was going to, in that time of the Hellenistic period, when our people was in that time frame of being called Greeks, right? It's because we was Hellenized and we wasn't able to call ourselves what? Israelites or a Jew in this time period, right? That's why I say Jew nor Greek, because it has to be what? The Jews that knew they was still holding on that custom and our traditions, because we still have people holding on our customs and traditions when you read the time of the Maccabees. That's the only the first and second Maccabees is where you could get all the accounts of being of the Greek captivity. You would get it nowhere else, right? So with that being said, hey, all the Jews they was still keeping the traditions of what we did, and then hey, and the people that was calling them some Greeks is the ones that took on that custom as being the, I'm gonna call myself a Greek. But Khan, I'm gonna let this brother back in. You got it, King. I'm gonna let you want that back into the spirit.
Uh,
Khan, you got it, King. If you got something on you.
hey, kind of like the brother going into, you read about that in the book of First Maccabees, as well as our people, being forced, even under King Antiochus, right, being forced to leave their laws and follow the ways of the heathens, you know. Let me get this precept real quick. This book of First Maccabees, so like First Maccabees chapter 1, it's like First Maccabees chapter 1, and I start at verse 41. It says, "Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people, and everyone should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king. Yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion and sacrificed unto idols and profaned the Sabbath." Right? So if you're sacrificing unto idols, we just went into that in First Corinthians chapter 12. If you're sacrificing unto idols, that's what makes you a heathen. Right? That's what makes you a heathen. You're an Israelite. You're an Israelite, but you're heathen. Like same thing here. You got blacks. You got so-called. You got Israelites calling themselves, African American, right? And that's what Paul's going into, right? There's neither, Jew or African American, right? You're still an Israelite, but you're following the ways of the other nations, because the other nations sacrifice to idols, right? They sacrifice to the cobblestone, right? They sacrifice to Buddhism, right? These are false gods, right? And we sacrifice to the Most High God, right? Right. And this is history. This is history. We can't make this up, right? For also too those that don't know about the book of Maccabees, right? If you haven't read the book of First and Second Maccabees, you should go read that, right? You can find that in the Apocrypha, or if you got the original 1611, you can find that, in the Bible, because you got to know the history, and that's why you need the Apocrypha. You need to read these books, or you won't know what's going on, because without these books, you're missing a big part of history, right? You're missing a big part of history, you know. But with that, brothers got it.
Come on, go ahead, brother Sirach.
The brothers, hey, that's plain. We have to get up in this thing and read, right? You got to get up in this thing and understand. The Apocrypha is a part of the Bible. It always been canon, right? So it's a valuable thing to have when you're reading this thing, right? Because like the brother was saying, once you start sacrificing to idols, you're heathen, according to the Most High. That's why He cast off the Northern Kingdom, because what they was doing, they was going off, right?
Come on.
We know that the things that the Northern Kingdom was getting into, sacrificing idols, doing all type of wickedness, right? And that's why He cast them off. The king after king after king of the Northern Kingdom was wicked, right? Sacrificing to like the brother say, idols, right? Right. So I'm gonna get a account right quick. Let me get Second Ezra chapter 2 and verse what I want. What I want. Let me get account brother calling this heathen through the spirit, right? Second Ezra chapter 2. Let me find it real quick. It's right here. No.
Kind
You got it,
of,
King. I'm gonna this piece real quick.
let me get this. Let me get an account of what the heathens do. People might say, idols, idols, idols. What is an idol? We told you what an idol is. You're celebrating the ways of this place. You celebrating idols. A lot of people don't know Christmas is in the Bible. Now, let me get that real quick of what the Lord said about Christmas. Right. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 10, verse 1. It reads, "Hear ye the word which Yahweh speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. Thus saith Yahweh, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are made at them." Right? So if you following the heathens, you're going to be a heathen. You still Israelite, but right? Reading on, it says, "For the custom of the people are vain. For one cutteth a tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of the workman with the axe. They deck it with silver and with gold. They fasten it with nails and with hammers, that it move not." Right? These things the Israelites didn't do. When you read the brother was talking about the Torah, the first 5 books. You got Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. You can read about the high holy days. You read about I know we have other high holy days that came later, but that none of them had to do with what the heathens. So now that when you discontinue from your heritage, you become you become Hellenized. Which you're under. You're under the heathens, and you're following the ways of the heathens. Right? So Paul had to talk to the church of Galatians that way, that they may understand what's going on. Right? But brothers got it.
Yeah, Hey, that's playing to the spirit, right? And this is Second Ezra's. Mr. Priest, I was looking for Second Ezra's chapter 2 in verse. I'm gonna start at 32, right? I'm gonna start at 31. So it says, "Remember thy children that sleep, for I shall bring them out of the sides of the earth." Right? It says, "Remember the children that sleep." Hey, what do they sleep to, man? They mean they in slumber right now, right? You can get that. Let me get that piece real quick, right? Right. Let me just piece real quick. And then in verse 8, this is Romans chapter 11 and verse 7, right? It says, "What then? Israel have not obtained that which he seeketh for, but the election had attained, and the rest were blind." Hey, so they are blind in this thing, right? Verse 8, it says, accordingly as it was written, Yahweh hath given them the spirit of slumber, eyes that they should not see, and ears that they should not hear unto this day. Hey, so this children, hey, they sleep right now, right? They literally in slumber right now, right? So like it says, "For I shall bring them out of the sides of the earth, where he should bring them from." Hey, literally, when you go to the precepts, we know the Israelites were literally scattered in all providence, right? Let me get that. Let me prove it, right? Let me get Baruch chapter 1, right? Baruch, actually Baruch chapter 2 and verse 4. It reads, "Moreover, he have delivered them to be in subjection to all the kingdoms that are round about us, to be as a reproach and desolate among all the people round about, where the Lord hath scattered them." Hey, so we know that the Lord scattered the Israelites, his children, in every nation, right? So when we go back, it says, "Well, remember thy children that sleep, for I shall bring them out of the sides of the earth, and show mercy unto them, for I am merciful, saith the Lord Almighty. Embrace thy children until I come and shew mercy unto them. For my wells run over, and my grace shall not fail." Hey, so his wisdom runneth over, right? And his grace is not gonna fail us. The Most High always has grace for us. That's why we able to get on this live today. That's why we was able to even get the understanding, the truth in this thing. Hey, that's all of the grace. Hey, and even learning that you're Israelite, that's a grace that the Most High had getting up this morning. Hey, everything that the Most High granted us that He had to grant us, hey, is all Him showing us grace. 33. I, Ezra, received a charge of Yahweh upon the Mount Oreb, that I should go unto Israel. But when I came unto them, they set me at naught. Hey, that's what they do. Hey, Israel set them at naught, man. They don't deal with the prophets, man. They literally scoff at the prophets day in day out, man. It's always scoffers when the prophets is out, man. But they don't scoff for nobody else. They literally scoff, man. We know. Hey, we could tell you based on a experience, man. We seen it, and it's been done countless of times. It says they set me at naught and despised the commandments of the Lord. That's the point. 34, and this is how they become because the brothers say they sacrifice on the idols and things like that. This is how they become heathen. It says, "And therefore I say unto you, O ye heathen." Ezra say, "Hey, you heathen, man." He called them straight heathen, and this is Israelites, man. Hey, because they forsaking the laws. Hey, they doing their own whatever they want to do, sacrificing to idols. Hey, taking up these groves and these different high places. That's what they doing. And Ezra called them heathen. He said, "And therefore I say unto you, O ye heathen, that hear and understand. Look for your shepherd. He shall give you everlasting rest, for he is nigh at hand, that shall come in the end of the world." Hey, so we know what he was talking about. And he was literally going into the Most High Yahweh, why Yahweh shot. But he said, "Hey, oh, ye heathen, man." Hey, so show you that Israelites could be called heathen too through the scriptures, all based on the things that they do, right? Brothers got it. Brothers got it. You want to thumb?
Con King. Yeah, con, just like the brothers are going, that's that worshiping these idols, that's basically like, like the Lord says, the Lord calls it a strange fire, you know, you're not just like if back in days when we were doing burnt offerings or sacrifices for the Lord, we wanted a certain way. The Lord is very particular. He wants these different things. So we had to do how you say we had to do it to a T, right? And when you don't do it to a T, you start burning that fire, and you're not supposed to, or you're doing things you're not supposed to. Hey, that would be more of like that would be more of like like a strange fire, right? I want to get this precept in Leviticus chapter 10 and 1. It says, "In Nadab and Abihu, the sons of Aaron, took either of them his censer, and put fire therein, and put incense thereon, and offered strange fire before the Lord, which he commanded them not. Right? So it says, and offered strange fire before the Lord. The Lord never he didn't command them to do exactly what they did, so they kind of took it upon themselves to do that. Obviously it's all in the Most High, but they offered that strange fire before the Lord. And it says, verse 2, it says, and there went out fire from the Lord and devoured them, and they died before the Lord. So that's that strange fire. You're not supposed to burn. You're not supposed to worship these different idols, because at the end of the day, that would mean, hey, that's like strange fire to the Lord. So, and on top of that, that's the first commandment. They have no other gods before me. So, you know, but with that, brothers got it.
Yeah, Khan, that's right. And also too, going into that, the brother mentioned about us being scattered, which we know throughout history is definitely true. The Israelites have been scattered across all four corners of the earth for disobeying the laws of the Most High God. And you can read about that in the curses, right? This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, and verse 64. And it reads, and the Lord shall scatter thee among all people, right? The Lord was talking to the Israelites that if they did not keep his commandments, from the one end of the earth even unto the other. And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. Right? So you got the people, you got people worshiping wood, worshiping the cobblestone, worshiping all these things, which makes them heathens. What makes them heathens. And we just read that in First Corinthians, right? We just read it in First Corinthians, right? Paul said, know ye not that you were Gentiles carried away to these dumb idols? Our people was carried away to these dumb idols, right? They didn't want to serve the Lord, so the Lord gave them over to their own ruin. He gave them over to their own lust. And another thing too is that a lot of people don't read. That's the problem. Like the brother said, you have to read and get into this, because you just they just cherry picking. They grabbing something and saying that this is what it is, you know. Because went into, when you read Galatians 3, you know, um, you got to read it all. You can't just read one scripture and just run with it. You read one scripture and then you just take off running down the street, right? You have to precept upon precept, here a little, there a little, line upon line, right? Line upon line meaning you have to read the verse above that. You have to read the verse underneath that, right? Because 29, right? And if you be Hamashiachs, then ye are Abraham's seed, and heirs according to the promise. Now, how do you get Abraham? How do you get Abraham's seed? And you say that includes. I mean, because you got Ham, Shem, and Japheth, right? You got Ham, Ham, Shem, and Japheth. How do you get everybody from Abraham's seed, right? How do you get everybody from Abraham's seed? How do you get the which we know are Hamites? How do you get the Hamites? That now the Hamites could be saved. How do you get, right? How do you get that from Abraham's seed, right? You read Galatians 4. You could read 22 on down. That the Lord is obviously saying that Ishmael is not according to the promise, right? Yeah, he's Abraham's seed, but what happened? He was cast off, right? And then we just read in Romans 9, but in Isaac shall thy name be called, right? Paraphrasing, Isaac shall thy seed be called, right? In Isaac, right? Real quick, this is Galatians 4:16, right? Because the brother mentioned, you know, you got people that scoff at us. We say these things and people hate us, right? Right? Galatians 4:16, it reads, am I therefore become your enemy because I tell you the truth? Right? So we become your enemy because we tell you the truth, because we tell you that God not coming to save everybody, that that um that the kingdom is for the Israelites only, and that everybody else will be put in captivity for what they done to the Israelites. Like, am I your enemy because I tell you the truth? Because last time I checked, your enemy's gonna lie to you, right? Your enemy's gonna lie to you. You can't lie to somebody and now y'all become friends, right? Now y'all become best buds, Now you become best friends, right? Am I therefore become your enemy because I tell you the truth? Right? Are we enemies because we tell you the truth? We tell you what the Lord told us to say, what the Lord told us was going on, right? It's like I got one precept. This is the book of 2 Kings. Salakia. Salakia, 1 Kings. Get the book of 1 Kings, chapter 22 and verse 14. It reads, and Micah said, as Yahweh liveth, what Yahweh saith unto me, that will I speak. Right? So we're gonna speak thus saith the Lord. We're gonna speak thus saith Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Right? People could scoff at us, they could get mad, they could say, you breaking that down wrong. The brother just brought out there's no private interpretation, right? You can't watch, we always bring it out. You can't watch, the last 20 minutes of a movie and then you know what the movie's about. Right? Or you can't watch the third season and you know what the show is about. You ain't watched season 1, you ain't watched season 2. And so how you supposed to know what's going on when you haven't started from the beginning, right? Hey, you kind of jump to Galatians 4:22 and they kind of looking like, where's that account at? They like, where's that account at? Because they only read the so-called New Testament, right? We don't read the Old Testament. We read the New Testament. I had a church. I had this lady that was in the church. We were trying to bring out to her about the Jews, about the Jewish man that you read about in Revelation, and she said, "Oh, my church, we don't read Revelations." Right? You got to read.
Damn.
You have to read. She said, "We don't read Revelations." Hey, and that's New Testament. So how you not gonna read a book and then say that you know the Bible? Because us Israelites, we will tell you right now, we get in this thing, front, back, whatever you want to go to, we'll go to it. We're not running from nothing. We right here. But with that, brother's got it.
Hey, bro, that's plain, man. Plain as day, man. Hey, brothers, it's not running from nothing. Hey, if it is like running for something, man, I yet to see it though. I kind of boast the Hebrew as our horn. Hey, we 42-0 in this thing, man. I ain't never seen us lose in the spirit through the spirit. That's just us being humble through the spirit. And when it comes to the precepts, hey, like the brother said, hey, people know, like, and you Hebrews like, oh yeah. One thing I don't agree with y'all, but hey, y'all do know that Bible though. Hey, they say that, man, because this was all about the spirit, right? So hey, just leaning back on what the brothers was going to, hey, knowing that hey, we scattered everywhere, man. We literally in every providence in the earth, even today. You could find an Israelite on 4 corners of the earth, right? Let me get 2 Corinthians, Acts chapter 2, right? And verse, I'm gonna get to the point. This is Acts chapter 2, verse 5. It says, and there were dwelling at Jerusalem Jews, devout men out of every nation under heaven. Hey, so literally, there's Jews everywhere in this time, man. So what about now, man? In this time, in 2023, hey, we're still everywhere in the world. You name it, you could find an Israelite on every corner of the earth, man. Literally, right? Let me get this other preset, right? That's right. This is James chapter 1 and verse 1. It says, James, a servant of Yahweh, of the Lord Yahweh Shai Mashiach, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greeting. So literally, James, he greeting what the scattered Israelites abroad in this thing. So literally, the Israelites are literally scattered everywhere, right? You can't say that can't be talking about the Jews or they can't be talking about Israelites, knowing that we scattered everywhere. That's a curse. You can read about what that was, that Deuteronomy 28 and 64. Hey, that's literally a curse. And that's all through the precepts, man. And anytime the Israelites go off, like the brother was going to, a worshiping idols, what they do, they get cast off and get cut off through the spirit, right? So, so Galatians, right, 28, 3 and 28, right? It says there is neither Jew nor Greek, and we kind of tackled the Jew nor Greek, right? It's neither Jew nor Greek. We all know who the Greek is now. We gotta know, like the brother brought out a Galatians chapter 1 verse 8, right? It's talking about the Israelites. The plethora of precepts that the brothers went into. For Galatians chapter 3 verse 29, it's all talking about the Israelites, right? So people could say, oh, okay, what about there is neither bond nor free? There is neither male or female, ye are all one, right? I'll see that. The brother threw the map up, right? We're literally everywhere. That's the all the slave ports, right? So the brother brought out the mighty map in this thing, literally showing that the Israelites are scattered everywhere in this thing, right? So like I was saying, it says there is neither bond nor free. So there is neither no slave or free man, right? And let's get some precepts to show you. I'm gonna get a couple precepts to show you that even those bond and free men talking about the Israelites. I kind of brother brought out another map to the spirit, right? Hey, you see that? Right? Hey, the transatlantic slave trade, the sub-Saharan slave trade, right? The Silk Road slave trade, right? So all them slave trades, they have something all connected, man. Scattering the Israelites abroad, right? So, it says neither bond nor free. Okay, you got it, King.
Conslakia, right? You was going into Acts chapter 2, of what it says about Israel being scattered underneath every nation under heaven. That was back then, the transatlantic slave trade didn't happen yet, the different slave trades we went through didn't happen yet. So how much more now? How much more now? Like the brother said in 2023. Brothers got it.
Now, kind of, that's a mighty point, man. Because like it says in Ecclesiastes chapter 1 verse 9, there's nothing new under the sun. Worth paraphrasing, right? So, if they were scattered then, in 2023, we gonna be scattered still, right? Us being we the Israelites, man, right? So we be scattered. So, right, continue on, going into the bond or free, because some people may think like, that could be Israelites. I mean, that could be the other nations. That's going to the Moabites. Now that's going to the Ammonites, man. That's going to the Hamites, the Gershishites, the Perizzites, the Zebulites, the Jebusites. Right? That's what that's going to. But we're here to tell you, no, that's not going to them either, man. We literally gonna break it down to the spirit, Lord willing. And because if in the time of this period, and who was ruling at this time after the Hasmonean, and really going off the tree of the Hasmonean dynasty, it started going into what the Herods, right? Herods, right? The Herodians, the Herodian dynasty. They were so-called Jews, but we know they was Edomites, right? They was married in and trying to call themselves Jews. So that's a little inkling you need to know as well, dealing with the precepts, right? So I'm gonna get what I was gonna get is, let me get Acts chapter 16, right, in verse 1 to show you Jews was slaves at this time, right? This is Acts 16 and 1. It says, then came to Derbe and Lystra, and behold, a certain disciple was there named Timothy. So Timothy was a disciple, right? So now all of a sudden, Timothy, we know he's an Israelite, right? The Most High is not putting a damn Greek Edomite in charge or in his posse, man. We're gonna say his posse as his disciples, right? That's not what the Most High is doing, man. He's rolling with Israelites, and that's what his 12 men, the 12 brothers, were Israelites, man, right? people might say this, right? Timotheus, the son of a certain woman, which was a Jewess, and believed, but his father was a Greek. Now what we say then, man? Hey, Timothy was not really an Israelite. He was a Greek because his father was a Greek. No. Hey, like the brothers we was going to. Hey, he was in that bond mentality, right? That Hellenistic period, huh? Calling himself a Greek, right? Like all these Greek Apollos and all these different Greek names that we may think is Edomites, but hey, they was really Israelites, man. Right? Let me continue on. So it says, which was reported by by the brethren that were at Lystra and Iconium. Verse 3. Him would Paul have to go forth with him and took and circumcised him because of the Jews which were in those quarters, for they knew all that his father was a Greek. Hey, his father was literally not doing none of the customs. Hey, because we know we have to circumcise our sons on the 8th day through the Spirit. That's a Hebrew Israelite custom. Thank you. You could date that back all the way in Genesis, right? So, literally, Paul had this circumcised Timothy, but Timothy's father was a Greek, or calling himself a Greek. But we know, according to the precepts and according to the Spirit, and we know that Most High is not dealing with a damn Edomite Greek and calling him my friend. When he turned around and called what's his name? Was it Pontius a fox, man? Or was it Herod? I believe it's Pontius Pilate. He called him a fox, man. Right? So that's showing you that this is bond, right? That means slave, man. Right? So let me give you a free man, right? We all know the free man, and we know it's Paul, man. Paul, he was a free man. And let me get this real quick before I this is kind of blank for a second. This is Romans chapter 11. Romans chapter 11 and verse 1. It says, I say then, have Yahweh cast away his people? Yahweh forbid, for I am also an Israelite of the seed of Abraham, of the tribe of Benjamin. So we know this is talking to who? Talking about what? Paul. So he's an Israelite from the tribe of Benjamin, right? But we all know Paul was lived in Rome. He had his Roman citizenship, and he was a free man in Rome, right? Let's get that. This is Acts chapter 22 and verse 26. I'm gonna start at 25, right? It says, 25. Yeah, 25. Get to the point. And as they bound him with thongs, Paul said unto the centurion that stood by, Is it lawful for you to scourge a man that is a Roman and uncondemned? So Paul was calling himself a Roman. He says, verse 26, the officer said what? When the centurion heard that, he went and told the chief captain, saying, Take heed what thou doest, for this man is a Roman. Then the chief captain came and said unto him, Tell me, art thou a Roman? He said, Yeah. Paul said, Yeah, I'm a Roman, man. Paul said, I'm a Roman, but knowing he's an Israelite, right? That's verse 28. It says, And the chief captain answered, With a great sum obtained I this freedom. And Paul said, But I was free born. So Paul, he was born free in this thing. Like us, we will say, yeah, I'm American, but no, then we Hebrew Israelites, man. And how did we get our citizenship? We was born here, and we was born free, so-called free. We gonna say so-called free. We was born so-called free, man. We wasn't in the slavery times. Like we wasn't born in the slavery time in 1619 all the way to the civil rights movement, right? Or the so-called we wasn't we was so-called born free, but we're Israelites born in America, just like Paul. Same exact thing. He was a Hebrew Israelite from the tribe of Benjamin, but he was born in Rome. but he was a free man, right? So same thing. So, Galatians chapter 3, verse 28, when it says Jew nor Greek, bond nor free, Paul, he was the free man. Timothy and his family, they was the bondman, right? And that's plain through the precepts. Khan, you got it, King.
Con. Mighty point, brother is bringing out. That's right. You know, and we can't make none of these things up. You know, where it says there's neither Jew nor Greek, neither bond nor free, they neither male nor female. You know, and the brother brought up the circumcision. That is a custom that the Israelites have. You know, a man child is circumcised the 8th day, and that's also what makes a lot of our people make a lot of people that are heathens. You know, all going back to the book of Maccabees as well. They was doing that in the days of Maccabees, right? They're literally they're literally uncircumcised themselves. You know, they're Israelites, but they're literally doing nothing that like literally doing none of the Israelite customs. You know, so they're heathens. You know, and being sold to do mischief. You know, let me get this account real quick, and the brothers got it. This book of First Maccabees, chapter 1. It's like chapter 1. I started verse 13, and it reads, right, because there were wicked men in Israel that said to themselves that since they departed from the heathens, they had nothing but sorrow. You know, that's what people say now. You know, that's what people say now. You know, since some people might say, oh, since I came into this truth, or since we keep other customs, nothing good might come to them in this captivity, right? This book of First Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 13, it reads, "Then certain of the people were so forward herein that they went to the king," and these are the Israelites, "who gave them license to do after the ordinances of the heathen." Right? They're doing the ordinances of the heathen. They're not doing the ordinances of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, right? Or the ordinances of the Israelites, right? Reading on, whereupon they built a place of exercise, right? And that's where you get the exercise from, right? The exercise, right? It's from the heathens, right? At Jerusalem, according to the customs of the heathen, right? According to the customs of the heathen, not according to the customs of the Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, right? And when I say exercise, I mean just the things that come with it, you know, of what they do, you know, wearing no clothes and all these things, you know, right, when they're in the gym and all that stuff, right? Reading on verse 15, and made themselves uncircumcised and forsook the holy covenant and joined themselves to the heathen and were sold to do mischief. And that's our people today. They forsook the holy covenant. Now, remember, Paul said, "You know that you were Gentiles carried away to these dumb idols." Now, you know, like hey, me and my brothers, we used to be heathens, you know. We used to be heathens, you know. But like the brother said, through the mercy, grace, and through the mercy and grace of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, you know, we're here today in this truth. You know, we came back to the ordinances of the Most High, and we left the custom of the heathens. You know, we don't, we keep the high holy days now, right? Brothers are keeping the Passover. Brothers are keeping Pentecost, you know, Feast of Tabernacles, right? The Feast of Dedication, right? But with that, brothers got it.
Khan.
Come on. Yeah, I had to. I want to bring up this account because if Galatians 3:28 means all nations, could get the kingdom of heaven, then we gotta address this right here. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 15, and verse 22. It says, "And behold, a woman of Canaan came out of the same coast and cried unto him, saying, Have mercy on your Lord, son of David. My daughter is grievously vexed with a devil." But he answered her not a word. So he answered her not a word, right? And his disciples came and besought him, saying, Send her away, for she cried after us. But he answered and said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. So if you could play this out in your mind, the woman of Canaan literally came up to Yahushua and said, "Look, help me. My daughter is grievously vexed with the devil." He didn't say nothing to her. I'm led to believe he looked at her and he ain't saying not a word. And then his disciples came, asked him what he asked them, and then he kind of told his disciples, "Look, I ain't sent, but I'm not sent to nobody, but to the lost sheep of the house of Israel." Right? And so why, if the Lord is saying that he's not sent but to the lost sheep of the house of Israel, and Paul is saying you could be a Jew or you could be a Greek, that we are all one in Christ. Does that mean so what does that mean? Does that mean are you taking sides with Paul instead of Yahushua? Because wasn't Paul teaching everything that Yahushua taught, right? And as we know, Malachi 3:6, the Lord doesn't change, right? I want to get that real quick. This is the book of Malachi, chapter 3, verse number 6. It says, "For I am the Lord, I change not. Therefore ye sons of Jacob are not consumed." So the Most High, Yahweh Shai doesn't change. The same all the time. And hey, people can say, "Hey, well, you know what? That's in the Old Testament." Okay, all praise to the Most High. Let's go to the book of Hebrews, chapter 13, and verse number 8. It says, "Jesus Christ the same yesterday and today and forever." So the Lord is always going to be the same. If the Lord said that He was only sent but to the lost sheep of the house of Israel, why would that mean that now everybody could get salvation um in Paul's epistles? You know, that just doesn't make sense. That would mean the Bible is off, and the Lord is just he don't know what he's talking about. But that's not the case, right? Let me get this precept real quick in the book of First Corinthians. And this is the last precept I'm gonna bring out. Uh, this is the book of First Corinthians, chapter chapter 14 and verse number 33. It says, "For God is not the author of confusion, but of peace, as in all churches of the saints." So he's not the author of confusion. So why would that mean that that now all of a sudden, the other nations can kind of come in and get, grafted in and all of this nonsense. But at the end of the day, we know that's not the case. We know that through the precepts, we can literally prove that the Lord was only called for the Israelites. The Israelites got the law. The Israelites got got a play in everything. And as the brother Sirach said a couple days ago, he said, I love what you said. You said the Bible is like a love story written to Israel, and that's a fact. And I think you said that as well, brother Gad. You said that probably like 2 years ago, and that's fact. That's literally a fact through the precepts and through the context of the whole Bible. That's what you read about. That Israel is going to get salvation, and the other nations are going to get their judgment. But brothers got it.
And that's playing through the spirit. So, a Lord willing, we brought out a Galatians chapter 3, verse 28, powerfully, through the spirit of the Most High. So I'm gonna read it again through the spirit, right? So this Galatians chapter 3 and verse 28. It says, "There is neither Jew nor Greek, there is neither bond nor free, there is all neither male nor female, for ye are all one in the Mashiach Yahushua." So Lord willing, we all get the understanding and understand what it's going to. The Jew are the Israelites, Greek are Israelites, and the bond are Israelites, and the free are Israelites, man. So, the male and nor female are Israelites. And so that's plain, right? Let me get this one last precept through the spirit. Let me get this one last precept, and then brothers got another precept. Then we could close out the spirit, right? This is Saint Matthew chapter 17 and verse 24. It says, and when they were come to Capernaum, they that received tribute money came to Peter and said, "Do not your master pay tribute?" So tribute money, in layman's terms, and I can say in these times, are what, taxes, right? He says, verse 25, he said, "Yes." And when he was come into the house, Yahushua prevented him, saying, "What thinkest thou, Simon? Of whom do the kings of the earth take custom or tribute? Of their own children or of the strangers? Hey, so hey, we're the strangers in this context. The Israelites would be the strangers, right? And the children would be the Romans in this time. They're Romans children. Verse 26. Peter saying unto him, of strangers, Yahushua saying unto him, then are the children free. Hey, so that's plain. Hey, if you're paying taxes, are you under tribute or custom? Hey, you'll literally be a slave in this thing. You're not free, right? So the ones that don't pay tribute, hey, they're free. So in this context, hey, it's literally talking about the Roman children are free and the strangers, which are the Israelites, are bondmen, right? Bondmen and bondwomen, right? So that's plain. So a Jew nor Greek, bond nor free, all going back to who? The Israelites, to the power of the Most High. Yahweh Bashem, Mashiach, right? So, um, brothers got another precept through the spirit on this.
I just got a point.
Hey,
Uh,
how you got it, King? I had a precept. It left me.
Okay,
Brothers got
con. Yeah, I just had a point real quick. Like the brother was going into as far as, being in that, yeah, we're not in physical shackles right now, but that slavery is more of a mental thing. And me speaking as a man, I would say that technology nowadays would be the most enslavement that our people have, because technology it's at its peak right now. Literally, technology is everything in this world. So with that being said, uh, you know, technology will have you thinking you're somebody you're not, and that's the way that that this world and that the system and the damn spiritual demon Satan is running, right? Trying to trick all of our people left and right, because he running to and fro, you know, walking to and fro, trying to deceive as many as he can. And the only way he's gonna do that is obviously through the easiest way to get to you, So, and that would be the technology. So, that that enslavement that we got out of, obviously, was coming out of the world into the knowledge and the truth of Yahweh Shemel Shai, leaving all of the things that we used to do in the past, as far as being in the world and such things like that. But I just wanted to make that point, as far as us leaving that mental slavery and coming into the truth and literally breaking off the shackles and knowing the truth. Because didn't the Lord say that in the book of John? Let me get this precept real quick, and then you got it, brother Gad.
I want to make a point of what you were saying.
Okay, Khan, go ahead, King. I'll bring the precept after.
Now, come bring a precept up.
Okay, all praises. It says, this the book of John, chapter 8, and verse 32. It says, and ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. So after we knew the truth, we literally broke off them shackles, And I'm not saying that, hey, you got social media, you going off. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying, after we knew the truth, we kind of broke out of them shackles, you know. But if you got the ears to hear, let them hear. But brothers got it.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I see, and I could kind of put another you know what should I say? How should I say? Another tandem on it, right? To the spirit. Hey, cause like the brother says, a lot of things that could have you shackled. You know, and brother said, hey, social media, whatever, through the spirit. A part of social media is people thinking they have everybody chasing status, man, or money, man. That's a bondage that people is in too. Hey, they chasing the status of whatever the world. Everybody want to be a celebrity. Everybody is their own celebrity in their own right now. That's what social media gave to everybody. Everybody is some people is chasing that status and ultimately money in this thing. because everybody do everything for money at the end of the day.
Okay.
Everybody do everything for money. That's what everybody's money driven. It's nothing other based on nobody, man. They care about is money. If it's gonna make them money, they care about it. And we know that this truth, being this truth, could take away some money, you know. But money is what people care about in this day and age. Most more than everything. Money is the top. You know, everything else follows along. Because you can make money from social media, you can make money from the internet and things like that. But money is everybody's number one goal in life. The scammers, the drug dealers, you name it, man. It's all about money, all about vanity. That don't mean nothing at the end of the day, right? Let me get Sirach chapter 31 and verse 1. It says, "Watching for riches consumeth the flesh." Everybody's watching for the riches, man. Where can I make the next money at? We not saying, hey, we not saying that you can't make money or you
Con,
can't have nice things or you can't. No, everybody need money to survive in this thing.
con,
But like for the love of money is where you go off at, man. Where you do anything for money, where you give up your bowels for money, man. You do unthinkable things just for money, you know. So it says, watching the riches consumeth the flesh, and the care thereof driveth away sleep, man. People come, be up days in and day out, man. I'm hustling, man. Can't no time for sleep. Do I see Benjamin Franklin sleeping? No. That's what I used to hear it all, man. Do Ben Franklin sleep? They say no. I ain't never seen his eyes close on that $100 bill. I ain't never seen it.
thank
So people is chasing that money. Lose sleep. What do the drug dealers? And I take or hustlers say. I take cat naps, man. I take cat naps. Not a full length 8 hour. They don't never take a full 8 hour, man. I go to sleep at 3, wake up at 5, and I start my day over again. Man. So, I agree with the brother. Social media could be a mental block or a enslavement. Money could be an enslavement to you. I think that's everybody number one, because we a slave to working, gotta work because you gotta provide. So everybody's enslaved to that thing in some sort of kind of way, right? Women could be your enslavement. Vanity, cars, women. I mean, clothes and anything could be enslavement. So that, like the brother said, that mental state is not knowing who you are. If you don't know who you are, and it's 2023, or if you're a grown, so-called grown man. If you don't know who you are, you still sleep, man. You still got that mental enslavement, man. Knowing where you need to go in this thing, right? But you gotta get.
Yeah, kind of. That's a real good point. Because everybody out doing their thing. So, um, everybody out doing their thing. So they wanna, they wanna go to where I guess it's so called popping at. You know what I'm saying, of what everybody else is doing. Because they might hear, um, oh, the Lord is only coming back for the Israelites, and then they might hear somebody else say, the Lord is back for all nations, and then they hear that and they kind of like, hold on, that sounds better. They're kind of like, hold on, that sounds better. The Lord is coming for everybody. That sounds better, right? Real quick, read this book of John, chapter 12 and verse 43. It reads, like I'm gonna start at verse 42. It says, "Nevertheless, among the chief rulers, also many believed on him. But because of the Pharisees, they did not confess him, lest they should be put out of the synagogue. For they loved the praise of man more than the praise of God." And that's the thing. Everybody, they love the praise of man. You hearing, we actually showing them that what the Lord says, and they might believe this Bible. You show them what the Lord said, now they don't believe. That's because they love the praise of man. They like, well, I love I loved what I was told. And that's just how it is. But nevertheless, there's no difference between an Israelite and African American, right? There's no difference between an Israelite and a so-called Hispanic, right? There's no difference between an Israelite and a Dominican. right? Is the so-called Dominican. There's no difference than the Israelite and Native American. There's no difference than the Israelite and what they call the Cubans. You know, there's no difference, for all are one. You know, for all are one under Hamashiach. You know, for all are one. You know, that's pretty much all the same. But brothers got it.
Con. And, and with that, brothers bring out their closing precepts and winding down to a spirit.
Con, I got one. Let me get this real quick. This is the book of Philippians, chapter 4, and verse number 8. It says, "Finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of a good report, if there be any virtue, and if there be any praise, think on these things. Those things which ye have both learned and received and heard and seen in me, do, and the God of peace shall be with you." So that's, I recommend brothers, brothers wake up, go to sleep, kind of read that over and over and over again, you know. But I praise to the Most High.
Con, right? This is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, and verse 42, and it reads like this is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, and verse 44. It reads, "Therefore be ye also ready, for in such an hour as ye think not, the Son of Man cometh." Right. So the Lord is saying to be ready. You don't want to say, I'll be ready tomorrow, or I'll be ready next month. Hey, we got to be ready now. For in such an hour as ye think not, the Son of Man cometh. Right. So you got to be ready. Be ready. Be ready for the day of the Lord. Be ready for, your works to be manifest. Be ready for, for all hell to break loose. Right. Because for such an hour as ye think not. And it's crazy because you see it in movies all the time. You might watch apocalyptic movies. You might watch zombie movies. You might watch movies where all hell breaks loose in the world, and it happens at a time when nobody expects it to be. It'll just be a regular day outside. People at Walmart shopping. Kids playing at the park. Jake might be on his way to a party, and before you know it, all hell breaks loose. You thought you was finna. You kind of told your family like, "Oh, I'm a head out. I'll be back later," but not knowing that, hey, all hell is about to break loose in about 45 minutes. So we had to be ready, because at an hour as you think not, the Lord said, the apostles asked the Lord, you know, um, when is that day? And he said, I know not, neither do the angels, but only my Father. So nobody knows, not even Yahweh, not even Yahweh Shai knows. Nobody knows when that day is, but the Most High. He said, not even the angels, and not even Him, and He's the only begotten Son. He doesn't even know when that day is, right? So we got to be ready, But with that, brothers got it.
Con. Hey, any precepts
Con,
run through the
mighty.
spirit, man. And this is Wisdom of Solomon. Salakia Sirach, chapter 24 and 24, and it reads, "Faint not to be strong in Yahweh, that He may confirm you. Cleave unto Him, for the Lord Almighty is Yahweh alone, and beside Him there is no other Savior." So hey, we gotta cleave unto the Most High wholeheartedly. Hey, we gotta come out of these different stronghold dogma, and come to the light, man. We gotta go precept upon precept, get the understanding, keep the commandments, keep the laws of the Most High. That's your form of cleaving unto Him. Getting in these precepts and all these different things, right? It says, "For the Lord Almighty is Yahweh alone." So He's the Almighty alone, right? It says, "And beside Him there is no other Savior." Just like read that, He was going to In the time of your distress, man, who's gonna save you, man? And you want to be in good graces in the sight of the Most High Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Mashiach, Wamalak Yahushua, right? So he's the only one that's gonna save you through the Spirit. Hey, nobody that you study from is gonna get you out of any trouble, man. You got to work out your own salvation in this thing. But with that, hey, Lord willing, this was an edifying video through the Spirit and the power and glory of the Most High Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Mashiach, Wamalak Yahushua, and his brother Sirach.
His brother Gad.
And with that, I want to say Shabbat Shalom to the mighty Israelites across the four corners of the earth. And with that, Kwame Yashala.
Kwame Yashala.
Kwame Yashala. Shabbat Shalom.